Novak Djokovic, Floyd Mayweather, Jose Mourinho, all true winners who totally embraced being the villain. They did it their own way. They didn't care about the noise from outside. They disregarded the opinion of the irrelevant. Now, to Arsenal Football Club, my opinion is completely irrelevant. I have feelings towards them. I have hostile feelings towards them. I have opinions on the way that they play the game. But to them, it should be completely irrelevant. Now, the reason that I am making this video is because of the reaction that I got to the video that I uploaded on this very YouTube channel yesterday. If you go and look at the comments, you will see quite how hostile Arsenal fans are to my opinion. If you look on my latest Instagram video, I uploaded a video on there in collaboration with TalkSport. Me and Jason Cundy were talking about Arsenal. Now, naturally, two Chelsea fans weren't particularly favourable to Arsenal Football Club. Again, look at the comments on that video. People are calling me fat. People are calling me short. People are calling me ugly. Now, all of the above is true. I am short. I am fat. I am ugly. But the reaction to my footballing opinion is something that I think is very, very interesting. Now, I called Arsenal's style of football quite ugly. I said that the way that they are playing isn't in keeping with the traditions of the club. If you think about the way that Arsenal fans perceive their club, if you think about the history of Arsenal Football Club, you think about the traditions of that club, you think about the marble halls, the yellow ribbons, all of that stuff that is Arsenal Football Club, the true sentiment and feeling around that club. It's a club that certainly in its recent history has cultivated some of the best footballers to have ever lived. They have scored some of the most beautifully crafted goals that have ever been scored in Premier League history. Nikos Davidas getting spun at St James's Park by Dennis Bergkamp is, in my opinion, top 3 goals ever scored. I just think it was truly genius. It was a manoeuvre that I had never seen. It was done on the biggest stage, and it was perfectly crafted by one of the most genius footballers to have ever lived, Dennis Bergkamp. That isn't what Arsenal are today. Gone are the days of Arsenal playing total football, playing in the most beautiful and perfect way. But who cares? Arsenal beat Chelsea. Arsenal did the double over Chelsea. Arsenal have taken 6 points over Chelsea. It was ugly. But who cares? You most certainly shouldn't. You should embrace it. You should be the villain. 1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal is a defining era of Arsenal Football Club. It is a glorious era of Arsenal Football Club. And should any Arsenal fan really care? Look, your abiding image of the 1-0 to the Arsenal era might be Alan Smith scoring a goal against Parma to win you a European trophy. It might probably be Michael Thomas winning you a Premier League, a Football League title in the most glorious of fashions ever. But the abiding image, I think, for a lot of people from the outside looking in, is Tony Adams standing with his hand up. Steve Bold standing with his hand up. Lee Dixon standing with his hand up. Now, obviously, that side that won the league at Anfield was prettier. It was better than this current side. It had some glorious footballers, some of the most artistic footballers that I've ever seen. David Rocastle, R.I.P. When he came to Chelsea, he played in a team where he was clearly the best player. And that was after his peak at Arsenal. Paul Merson was an artist. Ian Wright broke Cliff Baston's record. That team, it was simply amazing. But it was robust. Its quality was being robust, and its defining feature was standing with its hand up. But who cares? It won the league in the most glorious way possible. It won the league in the most historic way possible. The best title win ever was Arsenal at Anfield. Don't let people tell you that it was Sergio Aguero. Arsenal have the best record for winning the league of anyone in the country. Arsenal have won the league at Tottenham, their biggest rival. Arsenal have won the league at Tottenham again. They have actually won the league at Tottenham more often than Tottenham. They have also won the league at Old Trafford. They have also won the league in the most outrageously brilliant way, going to Anfield, needing to score 2 goals, doing it in front of their own fans in the last second of the game. We might call it boring. We might call it 1-0 to the Arsenal. We might call it dull. They just say Michael Thomas. They don't care. And that is how it should be. We almost deride them with 1-0 to the Arsenal. But that was their song. That was their song that they invented. They went away to Paris Saint-Germain in 1994, in the year that they won a European trophy. They won 1-0 away from home, and the Pet Shop Boys song, Go West, was flying in the charts. The PSG Tannoys played that song. There, a song was born. A song was born, 1-0 to the Arsenal, to the tune of the Pet Shop Boys. They don't care that we use that as something to disregard them. And nor should they. They should love it. They should embrace being the villain. When Chelsea were the most hated team in the country, do you know how positive I found that? Do you know how much I loved that? And do you know how offensive I found it when people would say that they quite like this Chelsea team? We're quite a likeable side. Yeah, mate, I love your young team. I love your young manager. Shut up. I hate it. You should hate us. History will be written by the winners. And that is the story that will be told. And if Arsenal win the league, yep, I'll call it boring. Yeah, I'll call it turgid football. Yep, I might even call it set-piece FC. Whilst that doesn't chime with the way that I see the situation, I think set-pieces are good, and I think that Arsenal should be very proud of their set-piece work. I'll use any stick to batter them, right? So I will use it. But I am trying to be sneery, and I will be sneery because I want them to fail. I don't understand why Arsenal fans are bothered by this. I don't understand why Arsenal fans want to be loved. I don't understand why Arsenal fans care whether or not people think that they're boring, whether or not people think that they play poor football, whether or not people think that it's inspiring stuff, exciting stuff. Arsenal have a responsibility to win. Mikel Arteta has a responsibility to win. He has a responsibility to deliver a league title to that football club. And if he decides to do it by winning 1-0 to the Arsenal, then so be it. He doesn't have a responsibility to entertain anyone. And I don't understand why Arsenal fans aren't quite supportive of that move. Maybe it comes from the fact that you sort of prided yourself for years on playing beautiful football. Like you think of some of the players that you had over recent years, even though it wasn't the most successful period of your history, you did score some wonderful goals. You had some beautiful players. And in recent years, the likes of Santi Cazorla, the likes of Thomas Rosicky, the likes of Alexander Kleb, I thought it was beautiful the way that he would use the ball, says Fabregas. They were all wonderful footballers who scored some wonderful goals, but they ultimately counted for nothing. Surely this is the way to do it. Surely this is the way to do it. For years, we have mocked Arsenal for saying that they have a weak underbelly, for saying that they have an air of vulnerability, for saying that they could be got at. And now over the past 2 consecutive weeks, we have seen them demonstrate a property that we haven't seen them demonstrate for years. That property is steeliness. That property is a robust quality that has been lacking from them for years. Suddenly, maybe, for the first time in Emirates era Arsenal, we have seen a resilience. We have seen a fighting dog quality that hasn't existed. And now Arsenal fans are trying to defend it. Just embrace it. Like I say, be the villain. Like, I loved being hated. I really did. And Arsenal fans don't seem to enjoy it. And I don't know why. I wonder if it's because under Wenger, they prided themselves on sort of doing things the right way, doing things differently to Chelsea, being the antidote to modern football, playing within their own framework of rules. Maybe their fans really enjoyed that. I never minded. I really didn't. I would enjoy winning ugly. I would enjoy being seen as a villain. I would enjoy being hated. But I guess for years, Arsenal was sort of seen as the antidote to money and hatefulness in the Premier League. And other Premier League sides didn't necessarily do things the right way. And they did have some beautiful footballers on display. But maybe it's because it feels like they've made a pact with the devil. If you can't beat them, join them. Arsenal have become the big spenders, haven't they? Arsenal have become ugly on the pitch. They've almost given up on their former self, what Wenger was trying to build. Basically, you've become Mourinho without the winning. Haven't you? You've kind of become what you didn't want to be. You've kind of become everything that you hated. Maybe that's at the heart of this. You are now pragmatic. You do what works. You don't really have a philosophy. And you don't really have any beautiful players. When you think about the beautiful players that have played in an Arsenal shirt over the years, none of this team are that. You think of the likes of Robert Pires, like the beauty and ease in which David Rocastle used to carry the ball. Arguably the Premier League's greatest ever player in Thierry Henry. The most aesthetically pleasing footballer that we've ever seen. You think about some of the goals that he would score. No player currently playing for Arsenal could even dream of doing what he did. When he flicked it up and spun and hit it fast past Fabian Barthez. When he ran the length of the pitch against Tottenham Hotspur. The goals that he would score on a regular basis, the vision that he would play with. When he would do that kick and hit it with the underside of the foot. You know, like kick that way, look that way and kick that way. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And there was an artistry to it. You know, Santi Cazorla, for example, would be the best player in this Arsenal team by a country mile. Thomas Rosicky would be a far better player than a lot of these Arsenal players. Absolutely no doubt about it. And Robin van Persie would obviously be a star. But all of those players had to leave to win trophies. Do I think that Thomas Rosicky would get in this team? Absolutely. Do I think that Santi Cazorla would elevate this team in terms of its beautiful property? Absolutely. But they didn't win anything. And this Arsenal team are about to win the league. That is going to happen. And we just need to almost rationalise it now. Almost accept it now, because it will get easier if we just accept it. Not only are they going to win the league, by the way, they could potentially win a double. So that is why it doesn't matter. My message to Arsenal fans, if you want to hear it, we're all irrelevant. Just cancel out the noise. If you hear me say something and call you ugly, laugh. It is done through the lens of sneeriness. If you hear Jamie O'Hara on TalkSport say that you're the worst champions ever, cancel it out. It's said through the lens of jealousy. If you hear anyone else mock players individually, you don't need to call me fat, true as it is. You don't need to call me ugly, true as it is. Just know that we're crying inside because you're going to win the league. There we have it. That is my message to Arsenal fans. There is, sadly, an inevitability about a league title coming your way, at the very least. And if we call you the worst ever, if I were you, I would enjoy it. Do you know what? We had a banner at Chelsea for years. People would always say that Chelsea ruined football, ruining football. We had a banner, Chelsea ruining football, with a picture of Frank Lampard lifting the European Cup. You should embrace being the villain. You should embrace being an ugly football team. You should almost make a banner out of it. Worst champions ever. Enjoy it. Because everyone is desperate to win the league. And everyone is desperate to be Arsenal at the moment, who sit top of the league. So there we have it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't call me fat and short, true as it may be. Have a wonderful day. See you in a bit. Ta-da.